So today I want to start with a quote. It says, Henry David Thoreau said, "You are a marvel. You are unique. In all the years that have passed, there has never been another child like you. Your legs, your arms, your clever fingers, the way you move. You may become a Shakespeare, a Michelangelo, a Beethoven. You have the capacity for anything." Wow, don't you wish you heard that every morning as a child?
Yeah.
Right? So Henry David Thoreau was a big influencer of our founder, Ernest Holmes, and with that quote I can see why. Basically both of them knew something magnificent. They knew that each one of us is inherently amazing. It's our true nature, and we spend our whole lives trying to figure that out, right? So I want to tell you a story. It was the summer of 2016, and I was in Colorado with about 17 of my friends when I graduated from ministerial school. And after all the pomp and circumstances of graduation, some of us stayed in Colorado longer to kind of enjoy the beauty of the summertime in Colorado and the Rocky Mountains. And we traveled all over Rocky Mountain National Park. I don't know if you've ever driven through there, but it's just stunning. And we saw lots of beautiful scenery, and we were looking for wildlife is basically what we were doing. And what was very tiresome to some of my friends was that I wanted to see a moose. And let me explain. I have been wanting to see a moose for many, many years. And you may not know, I was raised in Colorado, and my grandfather's family had a ranch down in southern Colorado where you could sit on the porch and the Colorado River ran across the field in the distance, and we would watch wildlife all the time. Elk and deer, and no moose. Never a moose. And I sat there several times just praying for a moose. And then I went to Alaska. I went on a trip to Alaska, and I wanted to see a moose. I saw bears, I saw deer, I saw penguins, I saw seals and whales and eagles and all kinds of animals, but no moose, no moose. And then I went to Vermont. I wanted to see a moose there. I even have a photograph of me holding a little stuffed moose because I couldn't find a moose. So here I was in Colorado on another quest to see a moose. And I wanted to see it in the wild, right? And as I said, there were other friends in the car, and they were really growing weary of me looking for this moose. And some of those people had actually been on all of those other adventures with me and heard about my moose desire for a long time. They just wanted me to talk about seeing a moose. So here we are. We're at this high elevation, driving through this little road. And we literally had to stop our car because a herd of elk just decided to cross over right then. And then the male elk was over there, bellowing for his mate or whatever. All this really cool stuff. I was not satisfied, not at all. There was no moose. So as we drove by every meadow, I was scanning for animals. As we drove through the forest, I was looking for a moose. Time after time we would stop where there would be lots of cars when we got there, people stop for wildlife. And we would get out so excited, and they'd be taking pictures of elk again, not a moose. So at the end of the day, we were all cold and tired. We just wanted to get to the restaurant and eat, and we're nearing the exit from the national park. And I spotted some more cars, pulled over to the side, and I insisted we stop one last time. Literally, we were a mile from the exit. And everyone just rolled their eyes, but they all got out of the car, and there, in some water, on the other side of this little wooden park fence, was a beautiful moose. And not only one moose, but two. And I don't know if that's me, sir, how you call that, but can you imagine my joy? I was so excited. The moose couldn't have cared less about this crazy happy girl from Georgia snapping pictures, but I was over the moon. And I had held a deep belief that I would see a moose for years. And I know I was irritating others with my optimism that if we just kept stopping and looking, I would see one. And if I hadn't persisted in my intention, if I hadn't insisted on stopping that one last time, again within a mile of the exit of the park, I may have never seen that beautiful animal. So what was it? What was this crazy thing about me wanting to see a moose? Just raise your hands. Does anybody else have a lifelong quest to see a moose? No, right? Kim's being nice. Kim's being nice. It's just really pretty much just me. I know she's lying. So why was it in my nature to be that specific and want that particular thing? I don't know. See, each one of us are born with our own unique desires. Each one of us would make a different list. If I were to ask you what joyful experiences would we like to have in our lives, this isn't going to show up on any of yours, but each one of us has this inherent nature, and to the degree that we honor our true nature is the degree to which we experience heaven in this lifetime. There's a timeless wisdom that says heaven is the state of awareness of our true nature. Heaven is the state of awareness of our true nature. And we experience our true nature to the degree that we become conscious of it. So in this philosophy, we actively seek to know the true nature of every individual, and we celebrate each individual unique expression of it. And this experience of our true nature, Ernest Holmes says, is sure to be attained by all. And our true nature is experienced when we are one with the God aspect in all things. And that is the timeless wisdom part of my talk today. I want to quote Ernest Holmes. He says, "True liberty comes only through true harmony. True harmony only through true unity, and true unity can come only through the conscious realization that we are one with God." Conscious meaning it's at the top of our mind. We are aware that we are one with God. The evolutionary vision part of my lesson today, and our year-long theme is let's take timeless wisdom and let's take evolutionary vision and kind of combine them together. So the evolutionary vision part of my lesson today is that we envision all of humanity awakening to who they truly are. That all humanity wakes up enough to discover that they have power in their thought, and they have the personal power to create a life for themselves within a world that works for everyone. You know, where self-interests are contained in the interest of the whole. Doesn't that sound magnificent? That's a beautiful vision to have. So I want each and every person to wake up and discover the truth that once you know who you truly are, your true nature, you have the power in your thought and in your choices to move closer and closer to your joy, right here in this lifetime. You know, my moose example is kind of funny. Thank you for laughing. I appreciate that. But it really illustrates some things beautifully. First, it illustrates that your true nature is unique to you. The wisest teacher of them all, Winnie the Pooh, said, "The things that make me different are the things that mean me." He's just the best. No one else shared this deep desire with me to see that particular animal. And as I said, we were all in Colorado to experience wildlife and nature's bounty and beauty, but each one of us had our own unique preferences and desires that were kind of part of our true nature as individuals. And thankfully, I had the kind of friends who took the time to talk about the day and ask, you know, what would make your day great, and you know, we kind of made sure that everyone in the car got what they needed throughout the day. And there was an understanding and an appreciation that each one of us had our own individual nature that should be considered when plans were being made and choices were made throughout the day. And there's no need for assimilation or universal agreement on what is needed or wanted, because we honored each person's true nature. The second thing my story illustrates is that sometimes other people may not support your vision and your quest. You know, people simply may not understand you. It's just a fact. Especially people who think they have a vote in your life choices and your preferences. And they really do roll their eyes about your enthusiasm as you move towards something that's important to you. They may refuse to stop the car, and you might have to jump out and walk yourself. I'm sure many of you are surrounded by people actually who don't understand or appreciate your spirituality path. I mean, that's a fact, right? Some people don't understand the path that you're on. That's okay, because when you're following your true nature to experience your own personal heaven, no one else has to agree. Albert Einstein said, "The person who follows the crowd will usually go no farther than the crowd. The person who walks alone is likely to find himself in places no one has ever seen before." Sometimes you gotta walk alone. Sometimes you have to walk alone to find the places in your life where your true nature is best expressed. And maybe meet people there who share your joy. And the third thing that my story illustrates is that when you are in heaven, the people around you benefit too. Even if they're not necessarily in support of it, even if they're rolling their eyes. Because trust me, the people that were rolling their eyes at my determination and absolute intent were absolutely thrilled to see the moose too. I wasn't the only one snapping pictures, right? And when I got back in the car, here's the thing. When I got back in the car, I was overjoyed. I was so happy. I might have even treated them all to dinner that night. It wouldn't have surprised me because I was just so happy because they had endured this quest for me. Because I followed my idea of heaven, and the energy of that was shared with everyone who was around me. Just talking about it actually kind of gives me a little surge of joy right now. It's just when you get your heaven experience and your joy, everybody else benefits it. Your good cannot be separated from everybody else's good. What that means is that we're all connected. If I'm vibrating at a high level and I'm spreading happiness and joy and harmony, that impacts everyone around me. And it also gives other people the space to follow their joy, to honor their true nature. You know, I know when I leave here on Sundays, I know that when I'm around you all, I'm feeling my truest nature from being in this group of people. You know, people who notice my happiness and people who encourage me for happiness. And maybe you find that true for yourself when you come here. So how do you know what your true nature is? We know that God is at hand. It's always present, nearer than our hands and feet, closer than our breath. We know that. The experience of heaven is in this moment right now. And it's here for us to choose. And that experience of heaven is your truest nature. But we gotta cultivate an awareness, don't we? We have to cultivate an awareness of the good and the God in everything around us. Spirit is immanent and immediate. It's wholly responsible for creating everything in this moment, including each one of us. So when we grow a real understanding that there is a presence permeating every little thing, we open ourselves up to that transcendent and magical and powerful experience of God in everything, even moose. We begin to look for the divine in each moment, and we watch the divine kind of unfold in a synchronistic way. We go out and seek the divine. We seek the divine in the world that we inhabit. John O'Donohue wrote this book, To Bless the Space Between Us for a New Beginning, and he wrote this: awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk, and soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. Your soul senses the world that awaits you. When we are aware that we are connected to the infinite field of possibility, we're connected to everything, we know that we can call forth from it that which we desire, that which makes our soul happy, that which we know is our heavenly experience. When we turn toward God in full awareness that He is always present, our faith in it grows. And when we gain more understanding of our true nature, we attract to ourselves more and more opportunities to experience it. And things become kind of more heavenly. So have you ever been taught, if you've been around for very long, you probably have, to pray for this or something better? This or something better. What that means is as we pray for something, we name what we want, and then we add the phrase, this or something better. Just to kind of signify to universal energy that if there's something better that's possible, I'm okay, I'm open for that too, right? But so often we hold on to the this in that statement. We hold on to the this. You know, when I think about it, I would have been so happy to see a moose in Alaska from the ship or from the train or whatever, way off in the distance. If I had just glimpsed it, that would have been awesome. That was my this, right? The Spirit had something way more delightful coming my way. Up close and intense, this visit with a moose. in the wilds of Colorado, under this big, beautiful summer Colorado sky, with great friends laughing and enjoying and taking pictures with me. That was definitely something better. So I'm so glad I didn't get this. I probably would have stopped looking had I seen the moose from the distance in Alaska. This or something better. So remember that when you're naming your good, when you're leaning toward your true nature, you have an idea of how you want something to show up or how it should unfold. But if you will release your will and step aside, God has so often much bigger ideas for you than you could ever imagine for yourself. Our job is to practice staying in the presence of that possibility. Coming closer and closer to understanding that our good is always seeking us. Always seeking us. Practicing the presence means to always be in awareness that the divine is always here. And we're just looking for it always. Looking for it in everything we do and say. When we live from our true nature, the true nature of the universe responds to us. When we are connected to the good within us, we're connected to the flow of good around us. When we're kind of emitting from ourselves this vibration of love and oneness and connection, we draw to ourselves situations that give us the experience of our highest and best. So the lesson today is to know what your experience of heaven is. Believe that if anyone else ever in the history of time has ever experienced your kind of heaven, then it is possible for you too. So set aside anyone's opinion of your true nature. Just stay in awareness and connection to the spirit within you. And always expect your good to be showing up. Never ever give up your true nature. Heaven is all around you, today and always. So in closing, I also want to do a quote from Anita Morjani from our Book of the Month for January. She wrote this beautiful thing. She said, "I am a truly beautiful, magnificent, and powerful creation of the universe. Unique, special, and valued in every way. I didn't have to do anything to be worthy of this gift. I didn't have to sow any special seeds in order to reap the deep, abiding love the universe felt for me. I didn't need to prove anything, accomplish anything, or become anything. This was just the way it was, as surely as the sun sets in the evening and comes up again the next morning." So this week and throughout this year, I invite you to find the places in life, find the places here at the center where you may have stopped remembering that there is a limitless power and potential of God. Just practice letting go, surrendering to the divine, and see the deep magic and the high vision that's just waiting to be revealed in your life. Your heart's desire, your moose, so to speak, is looking for you as much as you're looking for it. So will you read our one sentence affirmation with us? I allow the divine to unfold through me as my true nature, and heaven is my life.